This is the story of a man whose pet dog was brutally killed by some gangsters. What they did not know was that this man was once a powerful mafia boss, a name that made the entire underworld tremble. The story begins with a man named John Wick stepping out of his car, his body soaked in blood. He leans against a wall, pulls out his phone, and plays a video. In the video, we see his wife Helen, who is no longer alive. As John watches the video, his eyes fill with emotion, and the story moves into a flashback. One morning, John wakes up with a heavy heart, as it is the day of his wife's funeral. Helen had been suffering from a deadly illness that eventually took her life. John remembers the first time he met her. Every moment he spent with Helen was the happiest time of his life. But this day was the darkest day he had ever faced, because he had to say goodbye to the woman he loved the most. With pain in his heart, John bids Helen farewell and stands there for a long time. Soon after, John's old friend Marcus comes to meet him. John and Marcus once worked together, but their lives later took different paths. At first, John believes Marcus might be there to convince him to return to their old work. However, Marcus had only come to support a friend who had just lost his wife. They talk briefly and Marcus leaves. That night, a package arrives at John's house. It was sent by Helen before her death. When John opens the box, a small puppy comes out. On top of the box, he finds a letter written by Helen. In the letter, she explains that after her death, John must move forward in life and learn to love again. She says the puppy is a gift to help him heal. After reading the letter, John breaks down and starts crying. John takes the puppy out of the box and names her Daisy. He takes Daisy to his room and prepares a small bed for her. He plays with her for a while and then falls asleep. The next morning, John realizes there is no dog food at home. He takes out his Mustang and drives Daisy to the market. On the way, he stops at a petrol station to refuel his car. At that moment, another car arrives with loud music blasting. A gangster named Yusuf steps out of the car. Yusuf is the son of Gago, one of the most dangerous criminals in the country. While Yusuf's men enter the shop, Yusuf approaches John. He admires the Mustang and asks John how much it costs. John calmly replies that the car is not for sale. Yusuf becomes angry and starts insulting John in Russian. John does not stay silent and responds to Yusuf in the same language. He then leaves the petrol station without any fear. Later that night, while John is resting in his room, Daisy suddenly starts barking. She needs to go outside. When John comes downstairs with Daisy, he notices two masked men inside his house. Before he can react, a third man suddenly attacks him. The three men brutally beat John and demanded the keys to his car. When John refused to cooperate, they began destroying his house. During the chaos, Daisy hid under a table. Unfortunately, one of the goons noticed her and killed her by snapping her neck. After that, the man walked over to John and removed his mask. It was revealed that the attacker was Joseph. Joseph stabbed John, knocking him unconscious, took his car, and fled the scene. A few hours later, John regained consciousness and found Daisy dead. He was completely shattered, as the puppy was the last living memory of his wife. After grieving for a while, John gathered himself and buried Daisy in his garden. Meanwhile, Joseph took John's car to a man named Aurelio, who ran a garage. Aurelio specialized in repairing and modifying vehicles. Joseph told him that he needed new documents and a fresh number plate for the car. The moment Aurelio saw the car, he recognized that it belonged to John Wick. With fear in his eyes, he asked Joseph where he got it. Joseph casually told him how he stole the car and killed the owner's dog. Hearing this, Aurelio slapped Joseph hard and ordered him to leave immediately. An enraged Joseph shouted at him and stormed out. Shortly after, John arrived at the garage. He asked Aurelio about his car. Aurelio explained that Joseph had taken it and also killed his dog. After hearing this, John bought a second-hand car from Aurelio and began searching for Joseph. That same night, Aurelio received a call from a mafia boss named Viggo, who was Joseph's father. Viggo angrily confronted Aurelio for slapping his son. However, when Aurelio told him that Joseph had stolen John Wick's car and killed his dog, Viggo instantly went silent and ended the call. Upon hearing John Wick's name, Viggo's anger turned into fear. He immediately realized the seriousness of the situation and became worried about his son. When Joseph returned home later that night, Viggo called him over. He handed him a glass of wine and suddenly punched him hard in the stomach. Joseph was confused and tried to ask what he had done wrong. Instead of answering, Viggo continued beating him. After a while, Viggo finally spoke. He told Joseph that stealing a car or killing a dog was not the real mistake. The real mistake was stealing John Wick's car and killing his dog. Viggo explained that John Wick once worked for him and was known in the underworld as the Boogeyman.
Boogeyman?
John's reputation was so terrifying that even the most powerful criminals feared him. It was said that he once killed 3 men using nothing but a pencil. For John Wick, tasks others considered impossible were effortless. But everything changed when John met Helen. For her, he abandoned his violent life and left the underworld behind. After learning the truth, Joseph's face turned pale with fear. Viggo warned him that if John Wick decided to come after him, his chances of survival would be 0. But I will still try to save you because in the end, you are my son. Now, as soon as Yusuf leaves, leaves, Viggo calls John Wick and tries to settle the matter, but John hangs up the phone without listening to anything. After that, he goes to his basement and breaks the floor and takes out some guns and a lot of gold coins from inside. With no other option left, Viggo decided that John Wick had to be eliminated. That same night, he sent a team of 12 hitmen to John's house to kill him. However, John was already prepared. He fought back with precision and eliminated all of them, finishing the last attacker with a fatal stab. Soon after, John's doorbell rang. A police officer named Jimmy was standing outside. Jimmy had known John for a long time. When he saw the bodies inside, he calmly asked John if he was back in the underworld. John replied that he had not returned, but was simply settling old matters. After that, the officer left without asking further questions. John then called a specialized team that cleaned crime scenes and disposed of bodies. These men had worked for John in the past. They quickly cleared the house, and before leaving, John paid them with gold coins. Meanwhile, Viggo approached John's old friend Marcus and offered him $2 million to kill John. Marcus accepted the contract without hesitation. To stay safe from Viggo's men, John moved into a hotel reserved exclusively for criminals. This hotel followed strict rules, the most important being that no violence was allowed inside. Anyone who broke this rule would be punished with death. When John arrived, he encountered an old acquaintance named Perkins. The hotel was run by Winston, another longtime friend of John. John met Winston and asked him about Joseph's whereabouts. Winston revealed that Joseph partied every night at a nightclub known as the Red Circle. After getting this information, John armed himself heavily and headed straight to the nightclub. He silently eliminated the guards posted outside. Then he moved inside, taking down anyone who tried to stop him. Inside the club, Joseph was enjoying himself with expensive drinks and music. Suddenly, John arrived and a fierce gunfight erupted. John skillfully eliminated several of Joseph's guards. Seeing an opening, Joseph escaped from the club in a car. John continued fighting his way through the attackers, but during the struggle, he was stabbed. Injured, he returned to the hotel. A doctor there treated his wounds and bandaged him. Afterward, John went to his room and drank alcohol to ease the pain. Later that night, Marcus positioned himself on the rooftop of a nearby building and aimed his rifle. While watching John, he noticed someone sneaking into John's room. Marcus fired a warning shot to alert him. The intruder turned out to be Perkins. She opened fire on John, but he managed to avoid her shots. Perkins revealed that if she killed him inside the hotel, Viggo would pay her $4 million. A violent struggle soon broke out. Despite being injured, John managed to overpower Perkins and held a gun to her head. To save herself, Perkins revealed important information about Viggo. She told John that Viggo kept his money and crucial documents hidden in the basement of a church. After getting the information, John knocked Perkins unconscious. He then asked his friend Harry, who was staying in the next room, to keep watch over her. John went to the church and silently eliminated all the guards. Inside, he threatened the fake priest and forced him to lead the way to the hidden vault. John freed the women trapped inside the vault. He then set Viggo's entire money reserve on fire. When Viggo learned about this, he rushed to the church. By the time he arrived, John was already there. John opened fire and burned everything connected to Viggo's treasury. He continued killing Viggo's men one by one. However, during the chaos, a car struck John, leaving him unconscious. When John regained consciousness, he found himself tied to a chair. Viggo had captured him but chose not to kill him immediately. Viggo wanted to know why John was going to such extremes over a dog. John calmly replied that the dog was the last living memory of his wife, and Joseph had taken that away from him. He then warned Viggo that he had only two choices: either reveal Joseph's location or die along with his son. Ignoring the threat, Viggo ordered his men to kill John and walked away. The two guards began suffocating John with a plastic bag. At that moment, Marcus, who was watching from a nearby building, fired a perfectly timed shot and killed one of the guards. John used the opportunity to overpower and knock out the remaining guard. John escaped the building with a weapon and opened fire on Viggo's vehicles. He killed all of Viggo's men and forced Viggo to reveal Joseph's location. Terrified, Viggo admitted that Joseph was hiding in a safe house in Brooklyn. At the safe house, Joseph was partying with his friends. Several armed guards were stationed outside for protection. John arrived quietly and killed the guards one by one. He destroyed all the vehicles using explosives, leaving Joseph no chance to escape. John then entered the house, found Joseph, and shot him in the stomach. Joseph begged for mercy, but John showed no compassion. He ended Joseph's life with a final shot to the head. After completing his mission, John went to Marcus and thanked him for his help. However, Perkins had witnessed their meeting and realized that Marcus had betrayed Viggo. Soon after, Viggo's men surrounded Marcus and captured him. They beat him to death and later informed John about what they had done. Viggo then prepared to escape the city in his helicopter. At the same time, the hotel owner Winston summoned Perkins for a meeting. She was executed by 4 men for breaking the hotel's rules. When John found Marcus's lifeless body, he was filled with rage. He immediately set out to kill Viggo. On the way, he spotted Viggo's car and crashed into it. Viggo sent his most dangerous enforcer, Avi, to stop John. Without hesitation, John eliminated Avi in seconds. Viggo tried to push John's car off the road and make it crash. At the last moment, John jumped out of the vehicle and survived. After this, the two began fighting face to face. Viggo tried to stab John with a knife, but instead of avoiding the attack, John plunged the knife into his stomach and broke Viggo's hand, knocking him to the ground. John then pulled the knife out of his own body. Without hesitation, he stabbed Viggo in the neck and killed him. With this, the story returns to the moment where it first began. John once again watches the video of his wife on his phone. Watching it gives him strength and a sense of peace. After that, John goes to a veterinary clinic. He gets his wounds treated and bandaged. He then chooses a new dog from the shelter and takes it home with him. With this, the first part of the story comes to an end. If you want to see the next part, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel. We will meet again in the next video. Until then, stay safe and keep chilling.